Tonight, the show is just a little different. Okay, it's way different. I'm doing an impromptu call-in show. I could have said that way better. But hey, if you're here for grammar, wrong show. I'm glad you're here hanging out with me, talking Clemson football, talking college football. A lot of good things has been happening for Clemson football. We just landed a 4-star recruit today, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. Also, unfortunately, a player has been dismissed from the team. But if you want to hop on the call and talk with yours truly, there is a link in the chat section. This is a live stream right now. This is a live stream. So if you're watching this in the future, sorry, it's not going to work. But we do have some ground. I say unless I have multiple personalities, I have a few guidelines for you. Let's keep the language clean. Let's keep the conversation moving, meaning let's just not sit around and rest like hot potatoes. Let's actually talk about something. Let's have some fun. Let's keep it civil. If not, unfortunately, you're just going to have to say bye. But hey, let's keep it on the up and up. Let's have a good time. So if you want to join me and chat about Clemson football, college football, I hope you'll click that link. It is in the chat section. You should see it there. So until someone hops on, I'm going to talk about, the 4-star that Clemson just landed. This guy's a 6'4", 230-pound defensive player out of Buford, Georgia. And you're like, okay, who is it? He's 4-star edge rusher Dre Quinn. Clemson landed this guy over Texas. I'm not kidding. They landed him over Texas, and the recruiting just continues to get better for the Tigers. I mean, it's already the best recruiting class we've had in years. And so I'm extremely excited about it. Now, here's one thing I want to throw out there before it deals with him, but it doesn't deal with him. The other day, I mentioned someone as the top recruit, according to 24/7 Sports. And someone said, well, hold on. This other publication says someone else is the top rated player in the recruiting cycle. Every recruiting platform has their guy. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean, their guy, that doesn't even make sense. Their way of rating players. So it's going to change. If you go to 24/7 Sports, this guy's going to be rated at this place. If you go to another platform, it's going to be different. So either way, this is a big get for Clemson, the defensive line. This guy out of Buford, Georgia, if you know anything about that general area, that is Metro Atlanta. So you have unbelievable teams there. It's crazy. So anyway, hey, just want to let everyone know, I've seen people get into the chat section right now. You're saying, hey, to me, got Brenda Valentine in here. What's up, Brenda? Got Joshua in here. Roger Parks, my buddy. Good to see you. Kevron Harris. Good to see you, my man. Listen, if y'all want to join me live, there is a link there. And if you don't want to turn your camera on, you just want to have your voice, that's totally fine. Don't worry about that. Just remember the guidelines is let's keep it clean. Let's keep it civil. Let's have a good time. And let's actually talk about college football. Roger Park says, fighting laryngitis sound like a crusty old frog. Well, hey, listen, crusty old frogs are on here. That is good. Yeah, you can definitely do that. Tiger in the Burrow is here. So this is a big get. This is a big get for the Tigers. We need to continue to pile on and use this momentum. I'm a big believer in momentum. If you have the momentum, for goodness sakes, use it. Because once you begin to lose momentum, it's difficult to get it back. So I'm very excited to see them get who they're getting right now on all sides of the football. And that's, man, I'm excited about that. Jake Wanamaker in here. Good to see you, Jake. Tiger in the Burrow. Eli Beatty. Roger Parks, who sounds like a crusty old frog because of laryngitis. Kevron. Harris, Brenda Valentine in here. So anyone who wants to hop on, go to that link at the top of the live chat section, click on it, and we can chat. If I don't see anyone pop up in there, well, guess what I'm going to do? I'm just going to keep talking because y'all know I can talk forever. So got Clemson Tiger Blake in here. Good to see you, my man. Unboxing reviews and more. Bobby Durkins, good to see you in here. Anyone want to hop on the live chat, go ahead and do that. So while we are live, just kind of hanging out, eating apps. That's an Office reference for some of you. I'm going to look up the rankings for 24/7 Sports, their recruiting rankings, and I'm going to look up Dre Quinn. And because, I mean, this is it right now. I'm looking at the Yahoo Sports line, and let me see. Is that this? That's not showing me. Yeah, that's not showing me the rankings. I saw the rankings for him just a second ago. I got Benjamin Dover in here. What's up? Pigskin Pete. Oh my God. Royalty has entered the building. Pigskin. The link is at the top of the chat. You don't even have to show your beautiful face. You should hop on. We haven't talked in a while. Oh, buddy, Pigskin Pete. We go way back. He and I have been called several names by the Clemson community. Believe it or not all of them were satisfied. But the funny thing about it is we both love it. I do. Great building for the future. Want to see him land a top 10 quarterback. Tate could be the guy, but not sure. A lot of people are believing in Tate. A lot of people are believing in Denson. I'm in the mountains. If I can get through, I'll try. I have terrible service up here. Are you in the Smoky Mountains? I was just up there a couple of weeks ago. I love going up there. I'm 3 hours from it. But I'm going to look at 24/7 Sports recruiting for Clemson, the 2026 commits. Now, according to them, Leo Delaney is the top recruit we have, according to 24/7 Sports. All right. Oh, in Virginia. That's nice. I live in the mountains. That sounds great. The mountains are beautiful. Barry, good to see you, man. But according to 24/7 Sports, Leo Delaney is the top recruit that the Clemson Tigers has. According to 24/7 Sports, Dre Quinn is a 3-star. But a 3-star out of Buford, Georgia, I mean, come on, y'all. Like a 3-star out of Texas is pretty doggone good. I mean, versus some 4-stars you see come out of other states. You're like, oh, they're a 4-star. And the 3-star out of Texas or Florida or Georgia is outplaying them. It's like, shucks, I wonder how that happened. Juke Productions, good to see you, my man. I always use 24/7 Sports. Good evening, Brian. Jaden Butler, good to see you, my friend. But Clemson lands this recruit, and the recruiting class is just sick. This is the sickest class that we've had in a very, very long time, and I'm glad to hear about it. Let's talk about something real quick. I'll make it fast. Clemson dismisses a player today from the Clemson football team. And I'm going to start off by saying this. I don't know this young man. I don't know his family. And I'll pick at coaches because they're adults. I will pick at coaches, especially when I think they are being lazy in their job and they're collecting a massive paycheck. By the way, I have no problem with people making a lot of money. I hope to be one of those people one day. All right? Totally fine with it. With that said, I'm very careful to say anything about an 18-year-old. I have an 18-year-old. Right now, he's on a mission trip in Peru, and though my wife and I are very proud of him, he is a human being, and he's young. He could do something that probably is not the best thing, but we'd still love him and we'd still support him. And part of supporting him would be if I felt like he did something wrong, I'd look at him and say, I love you. Therefore, I'm going to tell you did something wrong. I don't know all the ins and outs of this. I don't know everything that's going on. I've read some things on some forums. I've actually talked to a few people who live in the town of this young man. But unfortunately, Marquise Henderson, the former BHP running back, who had an unbelievable career in high school. I mean, this guy was something. He was very, very talented local player, signed with Clemson. And unfortunately, he was dismissed from the team today. He'll probably enter the transfer portal, definitely. But this guy, he was one of those guys that they were probably going to use like in a sweep situation, quick slot pass, maybe. I don't know if they were considering using him for returns, but the guy had explosiveness there. And unfortunately, some things just didn't work out. What I have noticed, I believe we're seeing it, anyway. I don't know. I don't know. There was a subject that I was about to go down that trail, and then I just stopped. But it really didn't deal with him. But I do wish him the very best, and I hope that he doesn't waste his talent. Not because he's not at Clemson. I'm just saying I hope that if there is something that's going on, I hope that he'll realize that he does have talent and that he'll focus on using it. So, and not allow anything to, undermine that. So best of luck to him. But that did come out today, and the guy can play football. The guy can play football. I think he averaged 11 yards per carry in high school. He rushed, I think, was it over 8,000 yards, something like that? I don't have the article in front of me, but anyway. So listen to me, folks. This is a call-in show. It's like, what's the number for the call-in? Chase Johnson. Chase, there is a link, my friend, at the top of this chat. You don't have to show your face if you don't want to. You can keep the camera off, but I'm going to repost it here. And there it is there at the chat. You want to hop on, and you don't have to show your face. Just remember, everyone, just want to remind everyone, I just ask you to please keep it clean, keep it civil. We can have some fun, but I want to keep it family friendly, and let's just have some fun, right? Let's have some good fun. All right. I believe Chase is joining me right now. Let me see. Chase, what is up, my man?
Hey, how you doing? Great to see you.
Chase, thanks for hopping on, saying hello. Welcome to the channel. Just chewing the fat and talking Clemson football.
There you go. I've been a good fan of the channel for a while, but this is actually my first time hopping on a live. I'm a current student at Clemson here, so obviously off season's gonna be exciting. But I did have a question for you.
Sure, go for it.
What do you think is going to be the difference in the defense? Like, the players talk about, playing with more energy, playing with more, Ben Boulware's there. But what do you think actually, like, tangibly is going to be better on the defense?
Aggressiveness, without a doubt. Without a doubt. And here's why. When I listened to Tom Allen's, when he met the press for the first time, I totally went blank there, Chase. When he met with the press, I was ready to run through a wall for the guy about halfway through because his energy was just so infectious. Okay. So you could say, all right, so you're just all into emotionalism. No, when you couple that with his ability to coach and what he's proven over time, you mix that with that aggressiveness and that energy, man, I think that's the difference. I mean, you have to be aggressive to play defense You can't be timid. I'm not saying you can be timid and play that way on the offense, but definitely on the defense, my guy. I mean, you have to be a maniac to a controlled maniac. So I think that's definitely the difference. So and it flows from the leadership and with the play calling. The play calling is going to mirror his aggressiveness too. You can't say, "Hey, I'm aggressive person," and it's kind of almost like you're reckless. No, it has to be intentional. It has to be controlled, but in the play calling as well, it has to align.
Yeah, I would agree. I think last season for me was disappointing because we could have done it, and it was
Yep.
coaching. It was so obvious it was coaching.
Sure.
I went to the Citadel game with my dad that weekend, and I was like, "Oh, there goes the high schooler,
Yeah.
running on our defense again."
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to call in and say hello. Enjoy the channel greatly. This is your channel's keeping me alive during the off season. It will be a post game video watch for sure. So wanted to
Man.
say thank you. Keep it up.
Oh, dude. Well, Chase, I appreciate you watching the show, and good luck to you there at Clemson. I'm from the Clemson area. I lived in Seneca, born and raised there in my entire life. So when I think of someone being in that area, it makes me feel good. So, dude, I appreciate you supporting the channel. I appreciate your question, hopping on. Don't be a stranger. If you see me out and about, come up and say hello.
Yes,
And
sir. I'll keep my eye out for you for sure. I've been looking at. I was hoping to see you at the spring game. I couldn't find you.
yeah, I was there among a bunch of people, but yeah, I appreciate it, dude. Hopefully we can meet sometime.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
for the call.
Talk to you soon.
Take care, my man. Chase calling in. Chase, I really do appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. Got another call coming in here, and I'm about to. I see him there. If you want to show your face, go for it. If you just want to be all audio, here we go. Got Clemson CJ Davis in here. What's up, man? Are you there?
Hey, Brian. Can you hear me?
Hey, how's it going? I can hear you well.
Uh,
Can you hear me?
what's up, hey, question for you.
Yes, sir.
Good man.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
So I'm from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Oh yeah.
Still no Hunter Rim. How do you feel about our secondary?
How do I feel about the secondary?
We all know
I
Avian Terrell,
Yeah.
but the where do you think we're going to be?
Okay, my man. It's going in and out. It's going in and out right now. So I think the question that you're asking is, how do I feel about our secondary? We know definitely that we have Avion Terrell. Is that what I'm understanding? Am I understanding you correct?
How do I feel about our secondary? We know definitely that we have 80 on the rail.
Are you there?
Am I understanding correct?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. I think we have a little bit of delay.
I know
I can
Avian
hear
Terrell, obviously AJ's brother, but seeing the losses.
Sure. All right. So I know that there's a bit of a delay here, so I'll just go ahead and hop right in and answer that. I go back to Phil Steele. Phil Steele in his book, that his digital magazine, and Phil Steele comes pretty close to I would say he does one of the best jobs, if not the best job, of predicting college football. Yeah, he has his misses, blah, 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 blah. But this guy, I mean, he's done a great job over the years. He really focuses on the teams, the units, what's actually going on. I'm not going to say that he never gets caught up, maybe like others do, in the preseason hype and so on. With that said, he does a really good job of rating individual units like quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and so on. He rated Clemson's secondary pretty doggone high, and you're like, well, Brian, where did he have them? He has them ranked number 3 overall. And obviously he focuses on Avion Terrell. He focuses on Ashton Hampton, Khalil Barnes, Ricardo Jones. So he's looking forward to this unit being pretty strong. And I think when you mix that with the coaching ability and the strategy of Tom Allen, someone who's going to pin his ears back, he's going to come after them, after the offense. I think this really, lines up quite well for us. I think that just scheme overall is going to help us because we have the players there. And I know you ask about the secondary, but we really do have the players there. I just think between all the pieces, we have 9 returning starters on the defensive side of the ball. I think between that, Tom Allen, and then just the players that are coming back, like you said, Avion Terrell, Khalil Barnes, Ashton Hampton, those guys, I think what we're going to see is I think we're going to see a defense that is going to come out and play lights out. Let me see. I'm trying to look at this a little better here. Please forgive me. So
No,
we have pieces
Can I ask one second
go
question?
ahead. Sure, go ahead.
So Andrew Makuba, who transferred to Texas, I saw he changed his designation on the back of his jersey of his name. Did he have a child, or is that not allowed to be discussed?
I believe he had a child. I believe he had a child, but I really don't know that much about it.
Thank you for your time, buddy. Always appreciate
All
it.
right. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for hopping on here. I feel like I didn't give you a really, really good answer, but thanks for hopping on, and you take care of yourself, man. All right. I believe there's a delay there. CJ, thanks for hopping on with me. Yeah. I mean, I was trying to look at this. I was trying to look at our whatchamacallit. I was trying to look at our roster because I wanted to speak more fluidly about the team. One question mark, I'll tell you someone who I think has a lot to prove this year is Jaden Lucas. Jaden Lucas was a 5-star coming out of Jaden Lucas was a 5-star coming out of Malden, South Carolina, and he's struggled. He has struggled. I don't really know what's going on with him. Maybe he's battling injuries. Maybe he and Mike Reed are maybe not on the same page. They do continue to put him on the field. But he's had a rough time at Clemson. He really has. I kind of feel like this is, you remember Nate Wiggins. Everybody wants to look at Nate Wiggins and remember Nate Wiggins just absolutely eating it up in his last season and a half at Clemson. You're like, season and a half? What do you mean? Remember Wake Forest, Sam Hartman torched Nate Wiggins. I mean, torched him. He didn't even have eyebrows left. Sam Hartman torched him that much. No eyebrows. He looked like a freak. And instead of hitting the transfer portal or instead of whining or instead of blaming childhood trauma or something, Nate Wiggins took it like a man and responded like a man. And the rest is history with Nate Wiggins. And I think that Jaden Lucas, that's the next step for him. You know, he's he's had some tough times at Clemson. He got picked on by Georgia. Remember the pass to Colby Young? I was sitting in my living room, and I saw the coverage from my living room. And I looked at my son, my oldest, and I said, they're going to snap the ball, and they're going to toss it up to Colby Young. And if my memory serves me correct, Jaden Lucas was on him. There was no help over the top from the safety. And they did it. I mean, a guy sitting in his living room could call that. And he got picked on there. He's been picked on before. I think Jaden Lucas, this is a big year. Could be a big year for him. This could be a lot of redemption for him if possible. Looking at some of the backups. I mean, you have Corian Gibson. That was a big recruit. Shelton Lewis. Don't forget Shelton Lewis. He's done some really good things while he's been at Clemson. This print is just so doggone small. Kylan Griffin. One of you named out Kylan Griffin. The guy has a lot of talent. So I definitely think that the secondary will definitely be a lot better. Now, here's one thing I want to throw out here. And I see Eli got in here. I'm about to bring you up, Eli. Just hang with me here for a second. You know me, I'm over here running my mouth. Saying hello to everyone in here. Joe Mullins, Dave Steller, Graham Turnbull. Good to see you guys here. See everyone in here. Live call-in show. Something I never do. Doing it tonight. Eli, I'm coming to you there. Appreciate you being here. Just 1 second. I said this and I want to make a bold statement. I have high expectations for Clemson. Expectations are a compliment. If people don't have expectation of you, they think you're a loser. Call your mama. Tell her. That's what that guy on the internet said. You need to go ahead. You need to go ahead and accept it. If people do not expect something out of you, if you have the pieces, they believe you're a loser. They believe you can't. They believe they can't give you the race car because you'll wreck it. You don't know how to drive it. Clemson has a lot of the pieces, the most pieces they've had since probably 2019. No excuses. No excuses. And to quote CJ Stroud, pressure is a privilege. Eli, what is up, my man? Thanks for hopping on with me.
Hey, Brian, I'm from the Belton, South Carolina area, and I was just wondering, I know Clemson's got a really good wide receiver room this year, but, is it as good as it's been in the past? And, can we compare and, legitimately compete against other teams like Texas and Georgia and Ohio State?
Eli, thanks for joining on. I tell you this, I have family in Honea Path, and got a bunch of family in Honea Path. Believe it or not, my first cousins live there. So I appreciate you hopping on there representing M Bears. Yeah, I think this is the best wide receiver room Clemson's had since T. Higgins' years. We have had legitimately solid recruits at wide receiver since then. And if you want to check me on that, and anyone who disagrees with me, that's totally fine. But go check out 24/7 Sports and just change the year on the recruits, and then go look at the wide receiver room. I mean, you had the year that Ngata was here with Frank Clatson. Those were two very big recruits coming out of high school. But it just didn't work out. Ngata wasn't bad, but it just didn't work out. Latson ended up transferring out. Bo Collins, even in his last year, personal favorite of mine, was dropping balls, and they were perfectly thrown to him, and he was wide open. This past year, we saw two hungry freshmen thrown out there with, Antonio Williams coming off of a season where he was injured. And you can't blame a guy who was injured for, being injured, unless he did something stupid and he didn't. But that was the best wide receiver room that we've had in quite a long time. And now you throw in Tristan Smith, you pull all four of these guys together. I think, yes, I don't think that there's any hype here. I think that on top of that, you throw out there that the offensive line is much improved. What does that have to do with the wide receiver room? Well, if the play's breaking down because the offensive line is broke down, the receivers can't complete their assignment. They can't complete the assignment. The wide receiver, the quarterback can't go through his progression. He's running for his life. I don't know if you've ever seen this, Eli, but there's a video clip of Peyton Manning when he was in the NFL, and he snaps the ball, and just his entire line on the left side just breaks down, and he screams profanity running the other way. You know, that's been Cade Klubnik until last year, especially as the year went on. What that has to do with the wide receivers, it gives them a chance to actually go through their progression, go through their assignment, run their stem, and it gives them a chance to do what they did last year. Throw in Tristan Smith in there. I truly believe that this is not hype. This is legitimate. This is the best wide receiver room that we've seen since T. Hingage. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I really appreciate it. And go Bears.
Go Bears. Hey, go Bears. I knew that was coming. I knew that.
All right.
Thanks for hopping on, Eli. Take care, man.
You too.
Take care.
Bye.
There's a pizza joint down there in Honeypath. What is the name of it? I can see it in my head. That's weird. I can see it. I used to eat there all the time. Go down there, hang out with my cousins. I'd want to go to eat there. They're like, we're tired of it. I was like, hey, I'll eat there. Love it. Graham Turnbull in here. Kylan Griffin could be good. I'm not crazy about the secondary, but between Barnes, Jones, Griffin, and maybe Venables, too, the safety room could definitely be solid. Yeah. Joe says, hey, I'm not sold on our secondary. Time will tell. We tend to be small and like a big physical safety that is proven in run support. My cousin is watching, and he just texted me and said, it's Westgate Pizza. Matt, hop on the call. Matt, you're watching. You're probably sitting there with he has a little girl. He's probably burping her or putting her to bed. Funny story about this. My cousin, who I'm talking about, lives in the area there in Honeypath, was watching my show, and he said he was putting his little girl to bed, and he was watching the show, I guess, rocking her to sleep or something. And when she saw me, she threw up. And I was like, well, there's Clemson fans who have that feeling about me. They see me, I throw up. There we go. They despise me. Beater Busa said, hey, false hype is unreal. Beater, here's the thing I'll say. If you've watched my show, you know that I'm considered Mr. Pessimistic about Clemson football. They have more of there's two sides of this coin, Beater. Two sides of this coin. One side of this coin says that they have almost all the pieces player-wise. Almost. Not completely. But the most they've had since probably 2019, 2020. Somewhere in there. There's that side. They have Matt Luke. The guy's brilliant. Clemson should have more Matt Lukes. They could get them. Remember Matt Luke talking about what happened when Dabo Swinney called him? He cackled like a little kid on Christmas morning. It's Dabo Swinney, kids. And he had just semi-retired from Georgia. So for anyone who's out there who's like, Clemson, you make it sound so easy. Clemson could go out and get them. Because they can. I just wonder why we won't. Don't leave that alone. Set that on the shelf. But they hired Tom Allen. Guy's brilliant. He's proven. He and Luke are proven. I'm not saying we have all the pieces on the coaching staff. In fact, I have some questions here. But overall, Clemson is in the best shape they've been in many, many years. They should win 10 to 11 regular season games. I think losing 3 games would be catastrophic. All right? There's that. Here's the other side of it, Beater. If Clemson loses 3 regular season games and they get blown out by some team they shouldn't be blown out by. No team should blow out Clemson this year. Take it to the bank. No team should. I did not say they wouldn't. No team should blow out Clemson. And if they do, we got big problems. Because if you can't do it with this team, just who are you going to click your little heels together and get to come play for you and make it happen? Coach for you. Maybe we will have to make more coaching changes. Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. Got some people hopping in here. Got hands like Canelo. I hope I said that correct. Good to see you, my man. Good to see you. Let's hype the biscuit barn. We got Tyler Brown. Yeah, okay, let's talk about Tyler Brown. Roger Parks. By the way, anyone who's watching me, anyone who is watching me right now, if you want to hop on the live call-in show, you know I really don't do this, right? You know that I don't do a whole call-in show. I've had some call-in shows not go so well. And what I mean by that is it just got really foul really quick. And it was like, man. So I really don't do it that much. But if you want to hop on the call-in show, there is the link. You don't have to show your face, okay? If you want to, you can. You can. I prefer you have clothes on. No clothes, no shirt. No, we're just not going to be able to show you on here. Okay? Okay? But there's the link. Click on it. Hop on. Let's talk football. Let's talk Tyler Brown. Okay. So I had someone say to me the other day, basically you're forgetting Tyler Brown. I focused on the wide receiver room a couple of weeks ago. There's a lot of high expectations for them by many people. Not many people, like little, but multiple people. And I never mentioned Tyler Brown. And someone called me out and said, hey, look, the guy was injured. He did have the season he had in 2023. You're forgetting about him. And my response was somewhere along these lines. Yes, I did forget about him. Not being malicious or anything. And he's kind of got lost in the mix. In this wide receiver room, you can be a really good wide receiver and get lost in this receiver room. It's a good problem to have for Clemson. But I told this person, and I'll tell everyone else, I'm hoping that Tyler Brown will actually take advantage of people focusing on Antonio Williams, Wesco, Moore, and Smith, and it leaves him open. And he can take advantage of it. You understand what I'm saying? You're a defensive coordinator, and you're looking at this team, and you're like, who do we cover? Do you cover Moore and leave Wesco up? And well, no, that's dumb. Oh, God, there goes Antonio Williams in motion. We got to switch. Oh, Tristan Smith and his massive self out there. Oh, we got to account for him. And then there goes Tyler Brown. He gets lost. He's wide open. That could work in his favor. And I said something like this. I hope he'll remind us this year. I hope that he'll go out of his way to remind the Clemson faithful that, hey, I'm still really good. Had injuries last year. But what's kind of interesting with Tyler Brown is that he and Antonio Williams kind of had the same thing happen to them. Antonio Williams had an incredible 2022. Then he got hurt in 2023. Remember, that's when Tyler Brown stepped up. In 2024, Antonio comes back. Had an incredible season last year. Led the team in receiving yards, if my memory serves me correct. Tyler Brown was injured last year. Will we see Tyler Brown pull in Antonio Williams? I hope so. I hope so for the young man. So maybe you don't want to come on the live show right now. You're like, man, I'm at work. I'm listening to you in my AirPods. Well, good. You take that. I'm glad you're there. Glad you're listening. Hope you're having a good evening. But if you want to jump on the show, I've put the link in here a few different times. I'm going to put it in here another time. It's here in the chat section. If you want to come on here, you don't have to show your face. You can just, do the whole audio thing. A few people have done that already. And we can talk Clemson football. We can talk college football as a whole. I'd love to do that. Let's talk about, and this is something I'll end up doing a video on. I'm going to tell you where I'm holding my breath for this 2025 season. And I've said this in the show. Okay, multiple shows. I've said this to people who know me personally, and they're big Clemson fans. I am holding my breath with Garrett Riley's play calling. And with me making that statement right there, all you have to do is go look at the live chat and or the comment section after on the video that I make that comment in. Okay? Because you'll understand really quickly that statement polarizes the Clemson community. Why? Because there was the rumor that, why did I say it like that? Did I just have a stroke? Remy? Anyway. There's a rumor in the Clemson community that Dabo was calling plays. Dabo was holding Garrett Riley back, which doesn't make sense if that was actually true. On the flip side, the play calling at times was not very good. You know it, I know it, and we all know it. And I just want to say this. I just want to say this to set a really nice benchmark, a really good baseline for my next comments. I could absolutely care less that Clemson ran up over 700 yards on the worst Appalachian State team they fielded in years. Unimpressed. When it is coming on the heels of losing by 31 points to Georgia 7 days before. Opened up the playbook at the wrong time. Now, if Dabo has tied Garrett Riley's hands, that doesn't make sense because you're only hurting yourself. If Dabo is calling plays, sure, he's won 2 national championships, and I know some of you, okay, a lot of people says stuff like this. Well, Dabo's when he can do whatever he wants to. Yes, he can, but that does not mean he will get the results he desires. Some of the most disciplined people in the world are some of the most successful because they realize no matter how much success they have, there is a certain way you have to do things to render the success that you want. You just can't go up to whatever is in the atmosphere and say, do you know who I am? And then it works out for you. That's not how Dabo did it in the first place. I'm not saying, by the way, that Dabo did that. I'm just saying to that mindset, that's a very common man thought, is that someone can just get to a place where they can do whatever they want to. Yeah, normally that leads to trouble, if that is the case. Career-wise, it's terrible for Garrett Riley because I'm going to do this live here. But I've said on multiple occasions that Garrett Riley has had a meteoric rise in coaching. He's only 35 years old. He'll turn 36 in the fall. Yes, I'm looking at online right here. It's kind of weird. If you go to Wikipedia, and I know you can pick it anyway. In 2011, he was a quarterback coach at Roosevelt High School in Texas. Augustana in 2012. From 2013 to 2015, he was at East Carolina. 2 years was a GA. Then he went to Kansas. Then he was 1 year at Appalachian State. Then he was 2 years with Sonny Dykes at SMU as the OC and quarterbacks coach. 22, he was with TCU as the OC and quarterbacks coach. Got to the national championship. They averaged around 38 points per game. Could only muster up 7 points to Georgia, while Georgia mustered up 65. And he's been the OC and quarterbacks coach at Clemson since. I'm holding my breath. I'm holding my breath here. This is one thing I'm very concerned about. But what I was saying, and I went through all of that, kind of lost my train of thought there. Forgive me. Is that this is not good for his career. It's not. To say that just 14 years ago, a guy was coaching at a high school, and 14 years later, he's in his third season as the offensive coordinator for a top brand in college football. That's pretty doggone meteoric. A lot of people right now would sign on to that, would sign on and say, yes, I'll take that career path. Pack my bags. Tell mom I'm gone. This is not good for his career because he was going up, while he's been at Clemson. This has been some of the worst years for Clemson football. Now, let's pause there. Let's be fair to Mr. Riley. I'm not sitting here sandbagging the guy. I'm not sitting here smacking him in the face, talking bad about his kids, telling him his wife's ugly. I'm not doing that. You're getting me wrong if you understand that. Maybe I'm misrepresenting myself. Maybe I need to go sit in a nice dark room and listen to Celine Dion and cry while I go through this. But I am telling you, I'm not trying to bash the guy. I'm telling you that from a business standpoint, this is not good for him. He came in at a very weird time, though. One of the weirdest times that Clemson has had in quite a while, especially after the whole Dabo thing. Taking the team from never winning 10 games. It'd been 21 years since Clemson had won 10 games in a season. When Dabo did that in 2011, you must realize, if you forgot, that Clemson had not had a 10-win season since 1990, and that was Ken Hatfield's first year. Clemson had just fired Danny Ford. And he had just come off of a 2-10-win season or something like that. But this was the weirdest time. We had a former Clemson player who had some stops here and there, but he'd been around during the glory days. 1 year as an offensive coordinator, and they fired him. Bring in Garrett Riley. You have the whole DJ thing going on. You have Cade there. You have an offensive line that couldn't block a sneeze. Yeah, I mean, we have to be fair. If we're going to offer criticism, we must be fair in the critique. Garrett Riley really didn't have the greatest setup and probably the best culture on offense. I'm not talking about that the guys hated each other. I'm just saying I had someone personally reach out to me during the time, and I've talked to you about this. But someone who worked with the Clemson football team, I will not name the position out of respect to this person, but it was real. Said the wide receivers about 4 years ago, do the math. That was about the time we started seeing the wide receivers just start going down. Saying they were pretty upset because they were not getting the NIL deals. Their buddies they were in the big camps with back in the day. They were getting NIL, and Clemson, just nothing compared to them at the time. Things have changed. So he comes into that situation. So we need to be fair to the guy. But I will tell you, it is bad for business when an offensive coordinator does not do well against the big football teams. I mean, I know that's a duh statement, but it's true. I was on Eric Boggs' show a couple of weeks ago, the College Huddle. I'm the Clemson representative over there, so if you ever go check it out, let me know. By the way, I asked y'all and thank y'all for doing this. I told y'all, I said, listen, go over there and watch his video. He has a young channel. Make it the most watched video on his channel, and y'all did it. So thank you so much for doing that. It was actually a really, really good interview. He asked some really, really good questions, especially at the end. There was a really good question. So if you want to go over there and just check out that video and run it to the end, where he asked, I'll lead. You can go hear my answer there. Did Alabama want Dabo Swinney when Saban retired? So y'all can go check that out. But I said this on his show, and I'll remind you. Garrett Riley has played Georgia, to my knowledge, twice, where he was the OC. The first was with TCU in the national championship game, if you want to call it that. The second was with Clemson this past season. His offense between TCU and Clemson combined has only scored 10 points against Georgia, while Georgia in both games combined has scored 99 points. Yeah. Also, other than beating Notre Dame in 2023, Clemson has not done well in the big game. I'm talking about the big game. I'm not talking about when NC State comes in, they're ranked number 24. That's not a big game, y'all. We're Clemson. What are you doing? Why are you lower rating yourself like that? You need to go get you some Zig Ziglar and get all fired up on yourself. Read some Tony Robbins. Go stand in front of a mirror. Get a new hairdo. Drink an energy drink. Well, why are you down? What's going on with you? Watch those depression medicine commercials. Man, they're just happy as crap. Don't listen to the side effects, but they are happy as crap. My point here is that this is a big year for Garrett Riley professionally, because we know that 2026, even with the really good recruits coming in, it could be a really solid rebuilding year for the Tigers. So, from a business standpoint, for a guy whose coaching career starting out in 2011 has been going straight up, you're part of an offensive guru family, and when you play the big teams, it really doesn't look like a guru. Other than that Texas game was pretty good. Texas game, I hope we'll see more of that creativity. You see more of that creativity, we could legitimately make a deep, deep run in the college football playoff. We could be a problem. I do recall Dabo saying he was either calling or giving the yes or no on plays in the Kentucky bowl game. Still can't block for field goals. Failure in the big games is a Brian Kelly trait. Hope that continues. Yeah, LSU has not won, and this goes all the way back to the Orgeron years. They have not won a season opener in 5 seasons. 5 years in a row, they've lost the opener. You know what? I think that Kentucky Bowl was one of the most embarrassing bowls that Clemson has had in many years. I know that a lot of people will say, well, you got to understand that was a really trying year, and for them to come back the way they did and won the game and everything. Yeah, this is a team that was jumping around like they won the national championship. And I know it was supposed to be all inspirational and stuff, but it looked really goofy. I was embarrassed for them. Have you ever been embarrassed? Had secondhand embarrassment for someone? Yeah. I have a friend of mine, his wife cannot watch The Office because she gets secondhand embarrassment for Michael. She's like, it's just too cringe for me, which I love it. I love it. By the way, I'm sitting here in my media assets. You're like, what does that mean? It's clips. I'm just going to play random clips, y'all. No one's hopped into the live section, into the call-in show. throw this in there one more time. Anyone who would like to try to hop on and talk Clemson football, talk college football, use that link I just put into the chat section. Use that link. Let's just keep it clean. Let's keep it civil. Would be really, really nice. I am going to play some of my favorite clips that I have queued up that I can play anytime, but I think I'm going to play a lot of them right now. This will probably tell you all you need to know about me and everything that is wrong with me. One of my favorites, Frank Costanza.
With the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people.
Jerry Stiller was the man. Golly. Good grief. Bobby Boucher's mom. Pushing him around. She is the summation of mothers who control their sons out of selfishness.
Chickens are coming home to roost, Bobby Boucher. You reap the fruit of your selfish ways.
And Bobby's just sitting there, like staring down there. I like Mickey Valancourt. And then, who can forget Dana Carvey as Lyle?
What? Well, that's insane! Oh my goodness. Periodically, I would just walk through my house. I'm not kidding. And my wife will be talking about something. And just randomly, I'll go, "What? That's insane!" Here's another one. Here's another one. Hey, no one. Hey, no one's hopping on to talk football. I'm just gonna play stupid clips.
No! No! No!
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby! Don't you put that on us!
One of the most beautiful moments ever. Hope you have beautiful, strapping sons who's ate up with. Anyway, I always get the verbatims mixed up. I am the worst at remembering verbatims overall. Punching a baby. Oh my God, Marty Huggins. Marty Huggins moving. God bless Clark Griswold.
We're at the threshold of hell!
I felt that way a lot. One of my personal favorites. Let me get back to this. My Bobby Durkins personality. I had a friend of mine the other day who finally found out about Bobby Durkins. And he is begging me to revive him. He is begging me to revive him and to go to new platforms with him. I've thought about it. I don't know if I will. But here's some. I tell you this, in a perfect world, I would be better at remembering lines, and there would be not a full reboot, but maybe something kind of like it, because we do too many reboots and most of them are not good. But it would be an honor for me to play this next man. I mean, seriously, I'm not joking. As Bobby Durkins, but as, well, you know.
All that ride, jump in the fire too high.
Ernest T. Bass, the great Ernest T. Bass. A few more clips and then I'm going to go. Then I'm going to go, y'all. Yeah, I don't know where Big John's at. I hope Big John's okay. Hope he's not taking a dump, one of those like mean dumps, you know. Let's go over here.
Today, smoking is going to save lives.
Another one from The Office.
You're going to HELL double hockey sticks. Going to hell, Stanley.
You're going to hell, Stanley. All right. Last one. Folks, I'm going to tell you this. I have been on a boat many a times. Lake Kiowee, and I know one another well. I have one concussion, too, I think, from Lake Kiowee. I still don't know how that happened. I've read the backstory on it. I've read several articles about what happened, people's comments on it, what happened afterwards, and I still don't know how it happened. Like, really. I hope everyone, please understand what I'm about to say. I hope everyone on that boat was trashed. And you're like, what do you mean by that? For that to happen, I hope they were completely trashed or on something, because if you let that go on and you're not under the influence, whew, that's scary. Let me see. All right. Last question. Who's your pick to win it all? Roger Parks. Thanks for supporting the channel on a monthly basis. That symbol beside Roger's name means he supports on a monthly basis. And I'm an independent, and I can use all the help I can get. So, Roger, thanks for supporting the channel. Bo Weevil is in here just real quick. Bo Weevil. Hey, Bo Weevil, listen, this is a live call-in show. If you want to call in and chat, there is the link. I just put it in the chat section. You can hop on here. And, yeah, good to see you, Bo Weevil. Who's my pick to win it all? I don't know right now. I really don't know right now, Roger. I'll probably do my whole preseason thing. Even preseason, I'll hint towards who I think may win the national championship, but I really want to do more studying. I really want to sit and think about who has a lot of returning starters, who has the vast majority of their coaches. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, the truth is, you can have a lot of the returning starters, but if you lose some really solid coaches, Clemson learned this better than anyone. You may not be as talented as you are right now. South Carolina. We'll look at South Carolina. I have a lot of people who I can tell that they're questioning my thought on this, but South Carolina doesn't have their offensive coordinator from last year. Dowell Loggins is now Appalachian State. And, with the rebuttal that's going to probably be made to that by a Gamecock fan or someone who just doesn't like Clemson, they're going to be like, well, you got to understand that he and Shula may run, or whoever the defense or the offensive coordinator is. I'm pretty sure it's Shula. They run the same offense, run the same plays. They come from the same coaching tree. And I'm sitting there going, different human being. You need to understand that they are a different human being. And what one human being will do, and the adjustments they'll call, it's different than another one. Have CJ back here. Hey, CJ, how's it going, man?
What's up, bud? You doing all right?
Hey, man. Yeah, doing all right. Doing all right. Thanks for coming back on.
Do I sound a little better now? Here in Myrtle Beach,
I
South Carolina?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Cool. So, quick question. I heard you talk about Garrett Riley.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I want to ask you your honest opinion of probably my favorite player that ever played at Clemson, which is,
I think I know where this is going.
Miller.
Yeah.
Do you think he's the right guy for the running backs? I feel like Dabo is trying to reward a lot of former players, just like Ben Boulware, who I love. But do you feel like these are the right guys to lead them to the next level versus the Matt Lukes and the Tom Allens?
You know what, CJ, you're putting me on the spot there, and you asked the question. I'm going to answer it. That's a heck of a question. I think this is a question that a lot of true Clemson fans, they whisper. They don't ask this question out loud because we all like CJ Spiller. CJ Spiller, I think, was the guy who turned the tide for Florida recruits coming to Clemson. We all remember it. In fact, I saw CJ Spiller the day after the Texas game in Haywood Mall in the Apple store, and I was going to go up and talk to him. And it was just so flipping crowded and so on. I didn't get to speak to him. So I think CJ Spiller is an incredible representative for Clemson. Obviously, he is a legend, an icon at Clemson, and he seems like an all-around good guy. But I have those questions, CJ. I really do. I have some questions about Spiller. Not that he's doing just a terrible job, but I do kind of wonder that. And I think that a lot of people, and I'm telling you this, I have people who love Clemson, people who went to Clemson, people who are former. They didn't play football at Clemson, but they played football. I mean, they hold him in high regard, and they will not ask the question out loud. And I even kind of shy away from it because I just think he seems like a really good guy, and all the good things I said about it before. With that said, I think a lot of people's asking themselves this question. Is he the right guy for the running back?
You can see my moniker is CJ Davis. So CJ Spiller and James Davis. So my name is Chris. But the point being is that when you love these guys so much, do they get away with more or not have to do as much because of who they are? I think CJ can be a great recruiter. I don't know if I want him back there coaching the running backs. Nobody has his vision. Nobody has his speed.
Yeah.
It'd be like Bo Jackson trying to coach a team.
Yeah. I think that what you just said there, I think really sums up the questions that a lot of people has, including myself. Like, I mean, you're watching me right now, and I can't see myself, but I guarantee that as I'm answering this question about CJ Spiller, I'm kind of like hesitant. I'm like, I hate to ask that, hate to say that, but there are a lot of people in the Clemson camp who shares those questions, but we don't want to say it out loud because we respect the guy so much. But I agree with you. Chris. The question is, if CJ Spiller was not the legend or is not the legend that he is, would he be coaching Clemson? I don't know. I mean, there's some of the best guitar players I know because I'm a musician. Some of the best guitar players I know, they're really bad at teaching. And you're like, how can that guy who is so good at guitar not teach well? And I mean, I've seen this.
Don't get a lesson from Tom Morello.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just you know what I'm saying. It's just. I think that you ask a very, very good question that a lot of Clemson fans, including myself, feel really bad asking. But I've had that question a long time, my friend.
Well, thank you for your time tonight, man. Thank you for an awesome show. Thank you for your passion. I love Clemson. I was there when Nealon Green was the quarterback. Raymond Priester was the running back.
That's going back.
But I love the school. And like I said, I just have so much respect for Spiller and Davis that I wonder if there's a little bit of privilege they get. versus firing, or sorry, not firing, finding a Matt Luke. And so I'm glad
I
you
think that's
actually
fair.
answered.
Yeah. And again, I have such respect for the guy, and I can't put my finger on it that he is not a good coach, but there is a question of is he an elite level Clemson? Is he at the level of coaching at Clemson as he was the level of player he was at Clemson? Does that make sense?
Absolutely, and that's what I said. Like, I think Bo Jackson would get mad at running backs because they can't do what he did.
Yeah.
And it's not that he's a bad person, is that you can't coach certain attributes.
Sure.
It's just something that some people are born with and they're gifted and they work really hard for. And doesn't make him a bad person. It just doesn't make him a great coach.
I think that's where we have a problem differentiating in being fans and then just talking sports in general and in certain categories of life. Of, if I heard someone say, if I was CJ Spiller and I heard someone make the comments that you and I've made or ask the questions, obviously I would be offended. I would be potentially bothered. Maybe it wouldn't faze me at all, but this is not a thing of whether he's a good person or whether he loves Clemson or whether he was an incredible player or even if he is, I think he's a bad guy. I can't say he's a bad coach, but I think that the question that we're asking here, it really, we're not trying to attack him personally. It's just a really good question. And I sometimes wonder, and I'm going to go back to Sweeney on this one, Chris. I kind of wonder sometimes if Sweeney hasn't hemmed himself in a little more with certain people on the team, to where it would be really tough to fire them. Like you fire them, and there's a lot of things are going to unravel. A lot of people are really going to be hurt. A lot of people, I mean, it's going to be a really, really bad look. And I kind of wonder that with Dabo Swinney, because you see the Matt Lukes, you see the Tom Allens, and then you see some of the other guys who are not bad coaches, but they're just not Clemson level coaches, or there's a question if they're a Clemson level coach. And I just think he's in a rock and a hard place, And
I also say it reminds me of the Wes Goodwin situation where you want to be loyal to guys and promote within, but not everybody's the right fit.
Yeah.
And it's hard to say goodbye, but it's a job.
Sure.
We all have to do it. And it's not always fair, but it comes with that big paycheck, know?
Well, I agree with you there. And I think about this too. I mean, guys like us, we're sitting here talking about what Sweeney should do, and Sweeney's been extremely successful. And I get that. With that said, I mean, you do have to step back and look and go, man, when you saw how easy you hired Matt Luke, I mean, it was easy. And Tom Allen, that was pretty doggone easy. You kind of wonder if Sweeney at sometimes is kind of trapped by loyalty with some of the moves he's made, bringing in certain coaches, and he's sitting there going, you know what, I could have a Matt Luke here, and here, and the team would even be much better. But if he fires them, I mean, you're not only hurting them as a coach, but these are people he's coached. These are people that he's been friends with for many, many years. People he sung their praises, probably even sees them as family. And it's just, I think one of these guys would have to really go out and do something just downright card certified stupid or reckless for him to be able to let them go. So I think I think he's in a really vulnerable place.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think his loyalty and knowing where he came from. So my sister graduated from the University of Alabama. I went to Clemson, but talk about a funny bumper stickers on your mom's car. But the point being is that you want to give the little guy a shot.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like you said with Matt Luke, Tom Allen, like, and I'm not. I mean, CJ, I put him on the. I have all of his cards. I have autograph cards. I put him on this pedestal. But the point being is, who is out there, and can Dabo get past the loyalty factor, and even the question of alienation? Because what if a lot of people start to hate him because he fired somebody they love? And that's the scary part. And I guess that's why me and you don't make $10 million a year. You know?
I think that's not to correct you, but $11.5 million per year. But who's counting?
I don't want to exaggerate it.
Who's counting? Who's counting? No. I think that he has trapped himself. I really do think that he has trapped himself. And let me see. Graham Turnbull says this: Dabo's been better with firing his friends the past couple of years, but so if it's truly necessary, I bet he would fire Spiller. I get what you're saying there, Graham, and I agree with you. I was shocked that he fired a Streeter as fast as he fired him, as fast as he fired Thomas Austin. But I think Spiller would be the toughest one to let go if he had to. Again, I believe he would have to do something just outrageous for him to let him go, because he is truly an icon. Both of the other guys were players, and I'm not taking away from what they did at Clemson. With that said, they don't have the stature in history that Spiller has at Clemson. But I really do think that Dabo has hemmed himself in with some of these relationships, and I think he's trying to plug in some really good coaches here and there when he can. But it just anyway. Well, Chris, I'm going to call. Go ahead.
I was going to say I wouldn't call Bullware getting let go as big as Spiller. Like that just it's another level, especially for the people who love the school and who went there like I did. So I agree 100%.
Absolutely. Well, Chris, you're my last call of the night. Thanks for calling in. It's good talking to you. Hope Myrtle Beach is treating you well. And y'all, I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so much. And Myrtle Beach loves you. And I got all my friends subscribing to you, buddy.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you subscribing. That means a lot to me, man. Just talking Clemson football and having a little fun.
Have a good night.
Take care, my man. All right, folks. That's the impromptu call-in show that lasted an hour, almost an hour and 20 minutes. Hour and 20 minutes. Graham Turnbull said, sorry I messed up phrasing that message. I get you, man. I understand. I think I understand where you're going from. Pressure is a privilege. Expectation is a compliment. That's right, Joshua. Let me tell you this. In life, there are people who they run from pressure. Now, all pressure is not the same. There's pressure that's just unneeded. There's pressure that even if you make it through it, the reward on the other side is not that big of a deal. You know, most jobs, the pressure that you have for most jobs on you, it's really not worth it. You're just trying to put food on the table, keep a roof over your head, but the pressure is not worth it. It's really not. But when you start to get into massive money, the expectation goes up. Why? Because the common man can't hold that job. Now, listen, I always like to make this very clear that just because you make a bunch of money does not make you a yoger, doesn't make you a bad person. All right? It doesn't. I don't have a problem with that. I know a lot of people who claim that, oh, yeah, I just want to be fair for everybody. No, you're just jealous. You're jealous and you're trying to wrap it in something else, but you're jealous of people. Don't be jealous. But with those people who have the position, there is a pressure there, but there is the privilege that you have that pressure because you're in that role. You're earning those dollars. You have that prestige. You have the limelight. You have special treatment. You have all of those things that most human, I didn't not say all human beings, but most human beings would want some form or cherry pick parts of that they would have most of the time with the money. And the pressure is just, it's part of it. And I really, really think that at Clemson, the expectation is part of that privilege. It's part of that compliment. The pressure is a compliment too. And I hope what I said just a second ago comes across, that I respect, the persons that we were talking about. But I'm afraid. I'm only. It would be interesting to know if Sweeney could go back and make some. And I'm not even really I'm not talking about anyone specific here. I'm just talking about overall. If Sweeney could go back and say, "Hey, if I could clear everyone's mind, have one of those little wines like they had on what was that? What was that show? What was that movie? I can't remember. Anyway, Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones was in it. It was a massive movie years ago. Anyway, and they could swipe it in front of your face and erase everyone's mind. I wonder if Dabo Sweeney, who he would not have hired, and I know you're going to be like, well, obviously the ones he fired, but no, I'm talking about people that if he could go back in time, who he would not hire. Because as Roger Parks says right here, you can't fire a Ring of Honor guy. You move him elsewhere and don't let him touch the buttons. If you could get Dabo somewhere and he knew he could confide in you and you could never tell anyone, but he could tell you what he actually thought, and he was honest and he didn't butter it up and he didn't have to give you this inspirational answer with a bunch of really good mottos and slogans you could slap all over t-shirts, hats, mugs, bumper stickers, and he could tell you the truth. I wonder who he wouldn't have hired, who's even on the staff right now. Be very interesting. Folks, thanks so much for hanging out with me tonight. I was sitting here going, man, I don't want to talk college football. I want to talk Clemson football, really. But, we're a little over 2 months away from the big game. Season opening game against LSU. It's going to be a top 10, top 5 matchup, possibly. So just wanted to talk football. Appreciate everyone hopping on here. If you have not subscribed to the channel, I know you get sick and tired of hearing people talk about that. I'm a small channel. I didn't start back in 2008, and just because there was barely anyone on there, I have like 200,000 subscribers. No, I started this channel almost 3 years ago. And it's actually done okay. It's done okay. But if you want to help it grow, first, I hope you subscribe. It's free. It's free. Next, pass along to your friends, neighbors, clergymen who like talking Clemson football, who likes talking college football. And I do appreciate y'all. Take care of yourself. And as always, go Tigers.